What is going on, guys? Rob here with Arcade Motorsports. Today we are going to be installing some new parts on our wrecked 2004 R1 and we are going to see if we can get this thing fired up. So in the last episode, we kind of left off the video with our fan for our radiator. Now we had some issues with this kind of making some god-awful noises. It sounded terrible while it was running. So I did get my new fan for the radiator here. It's installed, and let's take a quick little sound check and see how this thing sounds while it's installed. Beautiful. That thing sounds a lot healthier, and I think that's going to go well on the bike. And again, on our old one, we kind of had to shim out and put some spacers on that top one just so it was kind of fitting right. With this new fan, everything mocks up perfectly. All the bolts are flush, and we are fitting perfect. I'm going to get that radiator mounted back up to the frame. I think some other things that we're going to do in today's episode, we are going to be installing our new clip-ons. These old broken ones we're going to be removing. We're going to get our new switches on there. We do have our old kickstand that's all broken off. I do want to get our new kickstand installed there. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the front stay mounted on the bike. And I think really the last thing we need to do before we can get this bike fired up is I want to install the new tank, get our fuel pump in that new tank, hook everything up, and then cross our fingers and see if we can get this bike to run. Now right here on our old clip-on, what we're going to be reusing is the clutch perch right here. So I'm just going to take this off right now. See if we can slide this off this end. And so this is all the stuff that's pretty much broken. This is rashed up. It's probably still usable, but we want everything to look nice and new. So I'm just going to slide this clutch perch right onto here. There we go. Now we're just going to put our control right onto here. There we go. Now the only thing we need is our hand grip. So this is our old broken brake reservoir bracket. We can get rid of that. Now when you're reinstalling the throttle tube, you got to make sure that you line up this little hole with this little pin right there. So when you spin it around, there we go. Everything's seated real nice in there, everything's flush. Now we can tighten these down. Now right here, same thing with putting the kill switch on the handlebar. There's a little knob right here. We want to line that up with that hole. Then we can put our little case cover on the back side. And last but not least, we're going to mount our brake master right back on here. And be careful when you're putting this little bracket on. You can see it says up with an arrow pointing up. Just follow the directions, put that right back on there, and we can mount this thing right back on here. There we go, everything's all mounted on there. We're also going to install our new brake reservoir bracket. Brand new. This guy right here. And we just have to plug in our connection here. Just gonna grease up our axle a little bit before we throw that back in. Now, in order to take this shift linkage out, we need to loosen up this nut. Just make a note that this has reverse threads. So in order to loosen it, I had to turn it to the right. So now we can spin this off and try and get this out of here. There we go. So we got that off of there. Now we just got to thread in our new rear set. And then just make sure you tighten this up by going the opposite thread. And then we just got to put our bolt back up here to hold this piece on the shift shaft. All right, so now we got our left side rear set back on the bike and it's fully functional. All right, so we got that new rear set on there. Now for the air box, I did off camera take this off and check out our air filter. And this thing was a little bit dirty, so I did clean it up, get everything all fresh with that K&N air filter, cleaned it, sprayed it with some new oil, so we are all set. So I'm gonna be throwing this air box back together, and I think what we can do next is we're gonna get our fuel pump installed in our new gas tank. Now we do have our new gas tank over here. I actually, you're probably not gonna believe this, but I ended up getting this tank for free. This is a brand new old stock tank. You can see it's still got the cover on the top there, and underneath it's all plugged up, brand spanking new from Yamaha for this bike. Now this is the exact same color scheme as our old tank. Our old tank is over here. You can see it had that same design, and this one got all scratched up. So we're gonna take our new tank with our fuel pump that we have in here. I'm gonna get that on there, throw some gas in the tank, and then we will see if we can get this thing fired up. All right, so here we got our new tank. Here is our old tank. Now, I did think at first that these two designs were exactly the same, but you can see this one's got that silver with like that little bit of brushed silver in there. And this one's got the silver that's plain, and it's got this white stripe right here where this one had the silver stripe. So these designs are a little bit different, but I think it's very subtle. So we are gonna continue using this one because this is obviously the only tank that I have right now. So first things first, let's peel this guy off. Oh, that's satisfying. Look at that. Super clean in there. Brand spanking new from the factory. Let's take these little plastic pieces off. All right, those are being stubborn. I'm gonna take those off camera. Now we have to swap these tubes over to this. All right, so now we're gonna pop our fuel pump in here, just like that. We do have our little O-ring gasket set in there. So we're gonna put this in here. Then we're gonna match up with this ring over top. It's kind of hard doing this with one hand. And we just wanna make sure we have this rotated correctly. Got that all lined up. Now we can put our bolts back in here. All right, so we have got the new gas tank on, new fuel pump in there. We've got gas in the tank. Let's see if we can get this thing fired up. Priming the fuel pump. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, we usually do that a few times. You prime the fuel pump, just get it through the system. Do it one more time, and we're gonna hit the start. Here we go. Let's try it one more time. Nothing, it's not good, not yet. That was a little something. Oh, I think our battery's a little dead. All right, I just let the battery charge up for a little bit, so now let's try this again and see if she will finally start. Woo! Yeah, she starts, she runs. Now I don't want to run her too long. I don't have the exhaust on right now. I just basically wanted to hear it run. So that's good that it starts up, runs good. I think we just kind of had to purge the system, let that gas get through the lines. So she fires up, that's awesome. I think next thing I'm gonna do is get that exhaust on, and then we will go forward with this bike. In the next episode, we are going to get the fairings on this bike. We are going to get this thing completed and wrapped up. So until then, I will see you guys in the next episode. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe below, like this video, and leave a comment with how you think this bike is coming along so far. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.